Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. Clicked on to the long-range weather forecast discussion for October 27th through November 10th. We have some changes coming, and might be good for others and maybe not so good for others. So we're going to get into that. This is the forecast period for October 27th to 31st. And we have here a trough here in the west, ridge here that builds across the southeast and the eastern states with above normal heights, 588 DM ridge. You also have a ridge here, a very strong ridge here of the Gulf of Alaska, trough in between. Upper low here across Hudson Bay. And this is feeding in cold air in here. And this is leading to the first snowstorm of the season here across the northern Rockies into the northern plains. And this would be changes to come. Energy would be riding over this ridge and amplify this trough as the ridge builds across the southeast. And this ridge builds across the southeast, and this energy moves in between. And there will be a strong temperature contrast to very cold air here across this region and warm air. So this will probably lead to probably heavy rainfall in the center of the country, and we'll take a look at that at the surface. So here we're at the 27th. Here's our snowstorm. We'll start here at 27. We'll back up a little bit. Here it is. And then it moves eastward. And then you can see we have more cold air moving here with snow. And then you can see we have an active weather pattern here across parts of the plains into the Midwest. Okay, we're going to talk about the period for November 1st to the 5th. Go back to the surface, 1st to the upper air, 1st to the 5th. And we still have our trough here, upper ridge here, not as strong as it was in the previous period. And we still have below normal heights across eastern and central Canada. And we have above normal heights here across Alaska that extends across the Arctic to Greenland. And below normal heights across east of central Canada. So pattern remains generally the same. And one thing different is here, the GFS still has this upper low here, energy that's in the southwest. So I'm calling for this forecast period. I have a lot of things going on. Above normal temperatures here and for this region. And I'm calling for anomalies to be at least 4 degrees above normal. Below normal temperatures here with anomalies of 4 to 6 degrees below normal. For precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence 35%. Above normal precipitation here with the probability of occurrence of 35 to 40%. Now we're going to look at the period for October 6th. That should be November 6th to the 10th. And now we have generally a zone of flow here across the country, below normal heights here, still above normal heights across much of the west, western North America, across the Arctic to Greenland. But I don't know, this doesn't really match up because if you look at the weeklies for the same time period, got to go forward. Look, below normal temperatures for much of the country, a little bit above here, but generally below normal, way below normal across parts of the northern plains, which makes more sense. This can come true. The models are not catching up to what's going on in the atmosphere right now. I'll get to that. So for this forecast period, I'm calling for above normal temperatures here, and I'm calling for anomalies of 4 to 8 degrees above normal, below normal temperatures for this region here, and anomalies are forecast to be near 6 degrees below normal, generally across this area here. And for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here and here, probability of occurrence is 35%, and then we have a strip of above normal precipitation here, and for much of the southeast, probability of occurrence is 35%. Now we're going to take a look at the polar vortex. Okay, this is current analysis of the polar vortex, pretty much what's been going on now. latest data shows developing disruption around the tropospheric polar vortex in the coming days. And I think it's occurring now. And we have strong anomalies that would change the shape of the polar vortex, effectively creating the first major cold air outbreak for the season for Canada and the United States. And that's exactly what's happening now. We have cold air here moving into the west, and this will be having a change as we go into the period. Now, we'll take a look at the next image. This is the geoheight potential here. The polar vortex is currently a normal size and has a growing core of cold air across the Arctic region. And this image shows geoheight potential and temperatures in the mid-tropospheric 10 millibar level. And the polar vortex looks like a cyclone with the cold air, low pressure, with the low pressure forming here. Okay, we're going to go to the next image. Okay, this image shows the wind forecast for the vortex in the mid-troposphere. The blue square is the current state, and you can see the polar vortex is currently stronger than normal. And we already saw hints of that looking into the shape of the 3D structure that I looked at before. All right. And we're going to go to the next image. This kind of a pattern that we have now, kind of similar, but notice a decent deceleration later in the month. There's substantial weakening for this time of year. Oh, we have to go back to here. I'm going to go back here. There's an substantial weakening, such a disruption, weakening of the polar vortex can even happen. And we'll look more closely at the events and how it will contact in the coming weeks. All right, and then we go to this image. I think I screwed up. The polar vortex usually comes from below. You can see here is from a direct influence of strong pressure systems impacting upwards into the stratosphere. And parts of the pressure systems are also known as Rossby wave. This is Rossby wave pattern. This is kind of like we have now. We have a ridge here, low. Out here at the even here across Asia, we have a ridge. So this kind of similar to what we're going through now. All right. And then also here, this kind of pattern, we have a trough in the west, ridge here in the east, also a ridge here across Alaska, and we also have a ridge over here by Scandinavia. And you can see the Rossby waves in the 5-day pressure forecast, and notice the two marked zones of pairs of strong high pressure and low pressure regions. And this setup resembles a wave breaking, sending energy upwards into the stratosphere and disrupting the polar vortex dynamics. And this is occurring, is going to come, or is already occurring, or will be coming in the next weeks. This is as we go into November. And again, the models are not catching up with the patterns, so maybe we'll see a change in the next couple of days in the forecast. So that's the long-range weather forecast discussion for October 27th to November 10th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.